Now, to the sad news that the African-American author Toni Morrison has passed away at the age of 88. She was the first black woman to win the Nobel Prize for Literature, and she also won the Pulitzer Prize for her novel Beloved. Former US President Barack Obama presented her with the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2012, and he's been paying tribute to Toni Morrison, describing her as a national treasure, a good storyteller, captivating in person as she was on stage, describing her writing as beautiful, meaningful, challenge to our conscience and our moral imagination. What a gift to breathe the same air as her, if only for a while. Well, the BBC's David Silito has been looking back at her life.
I don't mean that there were no narratives that slave women told, and there was no information about them. I mean, it wasn't the narrative in literature. My effort in saying Beloved to do that, to talk about a woman who had to make some choices.
Toni Morrison and Beloved, a story of slavery and grief, the sort of book Toni Morrison wanted to read but had to write herself. 30 years on, its success is more than about just sales or being part of the school syllabus. It's what it's done to help tell the untold.
She had the ability and the genius to create a world that had not existed before. And not only that, a quintessentially American world. She is an American writer. She's an African-American writer.
There's my house.
Toni Morrison had grown up in Lorain, Ohio, and she made it to Cornell University. Her grandparents had been sharecroppers in the Deep South.
You could go to jail or be fined if you were white and taught a black person to read. That says it all about reading. So my family took the whole thing very seriously. It was like a revolutionary act.
She began writing in the 60s. Her first novel, The Bluest Eye, was a story of childhood, black childhood, in a white world.
Each night without fail she prayed for blue eyes. Fervently for a year she had prayed.
23 years later, Toni Morrison was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. Just one of a mantelpiece full of awards. There was, she said, a vacuum in literature, summed up by that little girl in the bluest eye.
It took 5 years for me to write that really small book, to pay attention to this child. It maybe she's in difficulty. She's obviously hurt. She's abused and misused. But take her seriously, please.
Remembering the author Toni Morrison, who has died at the age of 88.